Hi. Yeah, I ran out, so I ran out of juice. But anyway, what I was trying to say is you can't just, you can't rely on what everybody else says to use. You gotta, like, find what works, and if it works, good, go with it and stay with it. But if it gets to a point where it's not working anymore, don't be afraid to abandon what you've been doing before. If it's not working, then don't keep doing it. Find something else. I also want to emphasize too as well, if you're trying to go the natural route with dreadlocks, don't focus on them so much, you know what I mean? You know, just let them be, let them like do what they need to do. The only time I really fuss with or do anything with my dreadlocks is when I have to put them up, you know, wear them up to keep them out of the way, you know. Either I'll tie them with one of the longer locks to keep it up, or I'll put like a scarf on. I'll put a hat on if it's a cold day, just to keep them up and out of the way, and it keeps them taken care of and healthy and out of harm's way. And the whole lint issue, I mean, lint is just a fact of life. Lint is everywhere. Yeah, you can put a headscarf on your head all day. For me, that's not practical. I mean, at some point, I have to like let my hair down and be free and stuff like that. But when I'm cleaning and stuff, I put my hair up, you know, as best I can so it's out of the way. I don't want people to feel like you got to get obsessive about it. Relax. These are your antenna, this is your locks, these are your hair. Get to know your hair and how it works. I also want to explain or answer a question someone had asked when I was on it was a Freeform, I think it's Freeform Locks, LOCS. It's a group that's on Facebook. But the question was, this middle dreadlock that I have right here, how many dreads are formed within this one dreadlock? Yeah, that's a great question. I don't usually go around and like go 1, 2, 3, you know, and count them. But because you asked, look at this. This one right here, jutting out from here in the middle like my unicorn horn. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like 5 dreadlocks to encapsulate one dread. Yeah, pretty cool. And then these over here, like this one, these are pretty tight. This one's gonna come on. It's hanging on to that one. Here we go. This one right here, yeah, thick. But yeah, anyway, I'm really not one person that wants to do all this, like, hey, I got 5 here, 2 there, 6 here, 5. As you can see, like on the top, there's tons right there, little tiny ones. So it's like, dude, I mean, everybody just relax with the dreadlocks, okay? Relax. Don't be so obsessive over them, you know? I hate to say this, and I try not to say things like this, but as far as like twisting and stuff, me, I just can't relate to that. You know, I can't relate to that because I see a lot of these hairstyles that are so tight, and you see the scalp being like literally pulled really tight, and it just looks painful. I mean, a lot of those styles, people consider them like artistic. And I mean, that's what they're going for, artistic look and all this other stuff. But all it looks like is pain. And it looks like the dread's gonna like pop off at the scalp from all the twisting and manipulation. I'm speaking from experience, okay? I've done a lot of things to my hair in the past that's damaged it, and I'm just happy that I have hair on my head. So, I mean, you guys out there, anybody out there that's considering letting their hair dreadlock, do your research, you know, and see what feels right for you. But for me personally, all these ways of manipulating my hair and pulling it back to, it can be this like really cool whatever kind of construction. Look, my hair already constructs itself pretty much, if you can see that. You know, it knows what to do. It knows where it's supposed to go. It knows where it wants to be at any given time. See that? That's Mother Nature. Okay. So yeah, just relax. And if you want, check out, if you want to like network and meet more people that have dreadlocks and see what their story is, and you know, get advice, I guess, that can be helpful for you, go right ahead. Like I said, the one website that I recommend is www.dreadlockssite.com. Site as in S-I-T-E. Yeah, it's really packed with a lot of good information. Be aware that they only promote natural dreadlocks, meaning they don't promote crocheting, interlocking, salon dreadlocks, synthetic dreadlocks, just natural dreadlocks with preferably no manipulation whatsoever. They'll talk about the twist and rip method, and I think there was that other one, the back combing method. Those they talked about a little bit, but I mean, basically, I think that with Soaring Eagles, his whole purpose was to bring forth information on caring for your dreadlocks in a natural way. You know, without all this manipulation. This stuff wasn't invented till like modern times. I mean, when people had dreadlocks back in the day, before the comb, before the brush, before all these dreadlock products and shampoos and conditioners and all this stuff, before all this stuff was invented, there were simplistic means of caring for our dreadlocks. And I think that when you go to search out for natural ways of caring for your locks, you know, just think about that. Think about the ancestors. Think about, and I'm talking about from every region, not just from Africa or Jamaica or Egypt even. It spreads all over the world. Everybody's had dreadlocks. I mean, for years, I'm sure there hasn't been combs invented. For many years, there wasn't a brush for you to brush your hair out to look a certain way. I mean, this is something that man has invented. This presentation of what is deemed acceptable within polite society. So, if that's somebody you want to be, then natural dreadlocks are probably not for you. If you feel like you have to please people and you have to have your hair a certain way to fit in a certain crowd, then this is not for you. Okay? It's not for you. Natural dreadlocks are not for you. If you are the kind of person who can't tune into your own intuition and feel like you have to follow the crowd all the time, regardless of the fact that it's painful and you don't like it, but you're doing what everybody else is doing. You got to figure out who you are and what you stand for. People think, oh, this is just hair. That's all this is. This is more than hair for me. For me, it's a spiritual journey. It's a visible example of the wisdom I've accrued through all these years of having them. I mean, I've had wisdom before I had the dreads, of course, but the channels of wisdom were clouded by all the chemicals and all the manipulation and pulling that I did to my scalp, to my crown. This is your crown. Your crown. You know, and this is, in my beliefs, I believe that, you know, we receive wisdom. You know, we can receive wisdom in through our crown. But when it's fried and manipulated and, you know, just totally messed up, then how are we supposed to receive anything, any guidance? You know, get yourself outside with Mother Earth. Get to where you know who you are. Get in touch with your breath and your breathing. Get in touch with what's real. You know, what's real isn't what's on television, these TV programs, and how these people behave, and these movies, and how these people behave. You know, it all starts with you. Don't get mesmerized by these people and these Hollywood stars and feel like you have to emulate them and be just exactly like them. You got to express yourself for who you are, not for who somebody else is. Alright, you guys, I hope this helped anybody out there. I tried to cover, like, excuse me, several, like, questions in one, because I get a lot of questions from people randomly sometimes, and I'd like to see if I can answer them as best as I can, and with a little added information that someone else may pick up on, and it could help them out, you know, I don't want to say tremendously, but it could help them out and help them realize that you got to look in the mirror and really love who it is you're looking at. And if you don't, then figure out why it is that you don't love what it is that you're looking at. When you start to feel like you need to, like, always be doing something with your hair, always trying to fix it, make sure this isn't sticking up, that's not sticking up, you know, that's insanity. Okay. So get back to who you are, alright, and realize that, you know, you're a beautiful person, you're a beautiful soul, and you just have to really get to know yourself and love yourself. I mean, through this dreadlock journey, it's really helped me to get to learn myself and to love myself more, and to really love the things that I really didn't love about myself, my outer appearance, and my inner being too. There, you know, you get to where you realize, you know, I'm actually a really remarkable being, and I have a lot of gifts to give. When you start to get outside of all these artificial and superficial things, then you start to tune into what your life purpose really is about. I think the dreadlocks are just only one aspect of my getting in touch with my spiritual side and my intuitive nature to want to